Hi everybody, welcome to Walker's Guide and welcome to Easters. Not at Easter, we're actually in the Easters. It's an area in Essex made up of High Easter, which is behind us, and Good Easter, which is where we're going to be walking to. High Easter is, as the name suggests, at the highest point in the area where the higher of the two Easters are. Good Easter, well, we'll come to that when we get there. We're parked in the Village Hall car park, which is a free car park just off the main road. Like always, be respectful. It does get used, as you can see, for football pitches, and the preschool meets in the hall. And yeah, we're going to walk from the car park over to a footpath in the corner, down and around the local area. We're going to hit upon the Essex Way and a few nice little streams and little bits of covered footpath as we go. So, welcome to the walk. My name's Derek, behind the camera's Martin, and let's go. After leaving the car park, you're going to walk down towards the road and turn right at the poo bin. Yeah, not a great observational point, but it works. If you're interested, this is on map 183. Our first bit of footpath is very wide. It's actually a field access road as well. This is being filmed in late May, but it's absolutely scorchingly warm. There's an old phrase, mad dog and Englishman go out in the midday sun, and I feel like it today. It's just after 1 o'clock and it's boiling hot. In fact, it's near to 2 o'clock and it's boiling hot, and we're off for a walk. From here, we can see why this area is called High Easter. Not the Easter part, but the high bit. You can see the church behind us. And then as you pan across, looking across the fields, you can see we're quite up high on the hill. And it's lovely. As you get to the small footbridge in the hedge, you're going to cross over it and then turn immediately to your right. And while we're walking through this field, it's actually a field with oilseed rape in it, which will be used to make into oil, as its name suggests. It's actually a member of the brassica family, so it's related to the mustard and also to the cabbage and cauliflower, all those sort of plants. The thing with oilseed rape is it can look really straggly as it grows, but those little yellow flowers are totally indicative of the mustard family. And as the pods ripen, they'll be harvested and then they'll be crushed to extract the oil. If you're American or Canadian, you won't know it as rapeseed oil or oilseed rape. It's canola oil. So as you get to the end of the field, you're going to see a little wooden bridge. We're going to cross that and we're going to turn left. And we're out onto the Essex Way. This is a long distance footpath that goes from Epping all the way to Harwich. So while walking along the Essex Way, you're looking for a turning on your right. It's actually the first turning. It's about half a mile-ish down the Essex Way, which at this point is a lovely little covered path. And you've got hawthorns and field maples and oaks and ash. So this is where we leave the Essex Way. We've walked down from the village. This is the first turn on the right, and we're going to cross over. There's a bridge and then a kissing gate, and we're going across the field. As you'll see from the signs next to the kissing gate, this field often has cows in it. So if they're in here, be respectful, be careful. We're going diagonally across. It's a very short section. Also look where you're walking, because cow pats, they're everywhere. This will take us right back to our video at Stock, because this is another section on the oil pipeline that goes all the way from the Thames Tilbury depot, where the oil is taken off of ships and pumped all the way through the country. Some of this will go as far north as Northampton and maybe even beyond. So oil is literally flowing under our feet. There's another marker in the hedge behind, and there'll be a series of these across the country so that farmers know there's a pipe down here and they're not allowed to dig in this area. The arrow dictates where the pipeline goes, and if we look at that arrow, we can join it up straight to that post in the hedge over there. If you do stop to look at the post, well, your footpath is now behind you. If you don't, carry on straight along the hedgerow down into the next field. So as you walk along the footpath, you'll get to the hedge, and there's a big gap in it. This is great, very clear where we're going. And we have a choice. We can either go left or we can go right. Now to the right, the farmer's given us this beautiful clear path. To the left, we have to walk along next to the hedge. And because I enjoy making life difficult for myself and Martin, we're going across along next to the hedge. Make sure as you're walking along you stop and look around, because, well, there's no point just staring in front of you as you go. The view is quite beautiful around here. We're not super high. I mean, Essex is quite a flat county, but we're high enough we can get a bit of vision. And we're being joined by different insects, including damselflies. So when you get to the middle of the field, you'll see there's a rather clear path where the farmer's actually got rid of the plants. This farmer, in order to protect his crops, has actually killed his crops, or a small section of them, to make it clear where the footpath is. This means that the farmer can, well, dictate where the footpath is. He hasn't got to worry about people walking in the wrong place, and it's wide enough that it can actually be walked over. And now when you get to the end of this field, you're going to come across a turning on your right in the hedge, and that's where we're going to go. The little turning joins up with a rather large footpath, again similar to the Essex way. It's covered, not quite as covered. Oh, and there's a pheasant, female pheasant. Pheasants aren't native to the UK, but they're very common. I always think they look like a velociraptor running, albeit with probably more feathers and definitely less claws. When you get to the end of the footpath that's covered, you'll get to a small section of road. You need to be careful here because your route gets really complicated. You're going to go straight over. We're now heading towards Good Easter. We're getting close-ish. So as you walk down the field, you'll come across a bridge with a white post next to it. You're going to cross over this bridge and you're going to see a beautiful footpath straight ahead. But don't take that, turn right. So occasionally you'll come across something like this fallen tree. It's actually not been down that long. We're just going to follow everyone else, where everyone else has walked around it into the field. Try not to squash the crop as much as possible, but walk round carefully. As you walk down the side of the field, there's going to be a gap in the hedge on your right, and there's a little white post in the bushes. We go through there and then across the field. When you get to the end of that lovely cut of footpath, you walk up the hedgerow slightly and then you go turn left across the bridge. So as you come across the bridge, you go turn right and walk up next to the hedgerow, and at this point you'll now see the church over at Good Easter. Walk to the end of the field and then walk down the small footpath next to the houses. Walk down the field and around the bottom corner, and we're looking for a gap on the right that goes across a bridge. So once you get to the end of the footpath, you're going to come across a sign. One sign points to carry on down, the other one goes to the right. We're going to go to the right and up to the road. As we reach the road, we're going to turn right and walk along it. Be careful, it's an active road with not much footpath. As you get towards the church, you can see it, the field on the left of the road is the best place to walk. There's a big wide verge, safest to walk there. When you finally reach the church at Good Easter, walk through the gates and have a look about. Like lots of churches in Essex, it has got some war graves, and it has also got the Good Easter War Memorial. So we're walking in the Easters. We started in High Easter, we're now in Good Easter. But why Easter? It's a bit of a weird name. It's nothing to do with the religious celebration at all. However, it is to do with the word Easter, but a different chain. Ostra is one position it could be, or Estra, or other versions of that in the correct pronunciation for the Old English or Saxon. It comes from one of two options, either Ostra, spelled with an O, meaning sheepfold, or Estra, spelled with an E, meaning estate. And you've got two estates. You've got the High Estate, which is High Easter, and the Good Estate. But why good? Well, actually, it comes from God's estate, or God's sheepfold. And it's where the area and the farms around were owned by one of the local abbeys. They owned the land, the farms, all paid into that. So God's estate became Good Easter, and the High Estate, because on top of a hill, became High Easter. Not actually that complicated, but it does show how social history changes names, and it happens all over the country. all over the place. You'll see across the country that town names change over time. They go from describing the place to just meaningless words almost. So after visiting the church, have a sit down, maybe a picnic. Please take rubbish with you. We're going to walk back out the gate, making sure we shut it behind us, and carefully walk up the road. Past Falconer's Hall, past the little pond, and across the road. And when you get to the T-junction, turn to go towards Pleshy. Keep walking down the road that leads to Pleshy until you find Mill Road, which has a nice big footpath sign signalling you to the Essex Way. We're now back onto those big open fields. As you get to the end of the footpath behind the houses, you can go left across the field down next to a few trees, or right further along behind the houses. We're going left by the trees. And then when you get to the end of that little path, you're going to turn right. So as you walk along the field, just keep going. There's not a lot of really to say at this point. Direction wise, it's stay on the path. Just keep walking. On reaching the road at the end of the footpath, you're going to turn left, keep on the road for a short way until you see a footpath sign on the right. Then turn right, and there's a bridge. Cross the bridge, onto the field. Follow the footpath next to the fence, up towards some rather peculiar looking constructions. These are part of the High Easter point-to-point race track. Unlike horse race like at Aintree or Epsom where they go round in circles, these are point-to-points. You start at one end, you finish at the opposite. Once you reach the point-to-point, you come across like a little made-up road, which is part of the track, as it were, and you cross straight over towards the hedgerow. We're getting towards High Easter now. In fact, we can see it on top of the hill, hence it being High Easter. Now our route brings us back out near the village hall. We don't really see a lot of High Easter, but if you want to, just wander down the road and have a look at the churches and High Easter itself. So follow the path down next to a pond on your right and the stream on your left, and you'll reach a field of cows. And today, they are right up where we're going to be. We chose this crossing point in the field because it's the shortest one. It's the least time you'll spend in the field. It's also in the right place where we need to get from A to B. The cows are fairly docile, but they can have a bit of voice to them. And the little calves do like to come and get in the way. Walk across the field quietly, carefully. Speak to cows if you want. It sometimes puts them at ease. If you have a dog, on lead, tight to your side and across. Please don't let it bark at the cows, because the most likely thing will happen is it'll upset the cows and they'll have a go at you. Once you've walked through the kissing gate, cross the bridge, and we're back onto the Essex Way. And here you have a couple of choices. You can go left, right, straight on. We're going to go straight on and up the field edge. When you get to the dead path across the field, we're going to turn right there, walk along it, and that'll take us back to the footpath that we started on right at the start of this walk and back to the village hall. So once you've walked across the field, walk up the footpath and another glance at the church. So we're back at the village hall, where the landing part's about to leave, and all that's left to do is say thank you for joining us. If you haven't done so already and you want to, please subscribe. If you haven't done so and you have enjoyed the video, please click like, and well, come along and join us next time on The Walker's Guide.